Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. 3 of Pentacles. Things are in motion for you. I think that you're someone who is very resourceful. You seem to be somebody that really understands how things work. I think you know how to create success. You've always been good at sort of making money, making ends meet. You've always been good at making sure things work out. Yeah. This is a card about putting in work. It's about knowing what it takes to get things done, the blood, sweat, and tears. This is a card that says your body, your heart, and your mind have to be working together. Okay, and right now you might have a lot of plates that you're trying to keep spinning, and you're kind of running from one thing to another, trying to keep everything going in a kind of in a very orderly kind of rhythm, kind of hearing like a nice rhythmic music, a lot of bass, strong backbeat. Because I feel like it's maybe you work better with music. Maybe you're one of those people that need the kind of rhythm of the music in order to really feel in the moment, feel energized, and feel that there is something to harmonize ourselves with, right? Because this is the 3. This is understanding the process of creation, and now we're trying to get in harmony with it, right? We're really trying to get that. Well, 6 of Pentacles, yeah. So we'll see, maybe that'll be the next card. But I feel that you have something that you're working on, particularly right now, that you're trying to get it sort of over the hump. You're trying to get it to a place of success where it's a little bit more hands-off, or it's a little bit more, falls into that rhythm, So we're trying to get something to a state where it can pick up speed and it can build up some momentum, right? It's almost that we're working on an engine, and we keep trying to start the car, but it's not quite turning over yet. We keep working on it, Let's put this card into some context. See what else is going on with you this week. So we got our 3 of Pentacles. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'd say that's over the hump. That's not the 6 of Pentacles we were looking for. But I think that this is really showing you the absolute potential that you have right now for achieving what is, I think, a really big win. I mean, this is more than you could have imagined. We would have been happy with a 4 of Pentacles or that 6 of Pentacles, but you're getting a full 10. All right? I think that's a very good sign. Speaking of signs, let's select an angel number before we get started here. Your angel number is 0303. We got the repeating 3s here. That's interesting. Taking chances, success, knowledge, friendship, impatience, freedom, and optimism. When chances present themselves, seize them and do something out of the ordinary. Whether in your professional or personal life, you will find success by welcoming creative impulses and having faith in your own abilities. Trust in chance and take risks on opportunities that could change your life for the better. Well, these 2 very strong earth cards. You're working toward a real abundance here. Yeah. Something is in motion that is going to bring you tremendous success. The 10 of Pentacles is all about wealth. Not just financial wealth, but that is part of it. It's everything that you value. It's kind of a card that asks you, what are you working toward? What is your goal here? The Three of Pentacles is called work. The Ten of Pentacles is called wealth. You're working toward your wealth, but what does wealth mean to you? What are you working so hard to achieve? I think we need to revisit those goals, okay? Because I think that you have the opportunity now, as we see with our 0303 angel number, to really seize that opportunity to change your life for the better and get a little closer to that Ten of Pentacles, that best life ever. You know? I like it. Let's keep going. Let's put the rest of our cards out on the table here. An Eight of Wands. A Four of Wands. Okay. Ooh. Knight of Wands and... I thought it was going to be more fire, but it's a Nine of Cups. Not only is this going to be intensely abundant and lucrative, profitable, and prosperous, it's going to feel good too. Okay? These aren't just empty shells. And I think it's reminding you that you're not just working toward material wealth, you're working towards spiritual wealth also. Okay? We've got that Nine of Cups, which is probably my favorite card. If there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right. Let's keep going. Let's put the rest of our cards out on the table, then we'll get into them in more depth. Here we've got our fixed air energy, our Prince of Swords, and Nine of Pentacles. You got all the good cards here. Look at that. A Four of Cups. Interesting. Four of Wands and the Four of Cups. And you've got the Princess of Pentacles. The Princess of Pentacles as the outcome is really, really great because not only is this fire and earth up top here, right? The fire of the Knight of Wands. This is double fire. This is double earth. So you're manifesting something that I think is going to blow you away. The success of what you're doing now is going to be astronomical. You were kind of thinking, well, if I just get, this much, it'd be good. No, it's going to skyrocket. Okay, so we've got the intense fire, intense earth, and that's the spiritual electrical circuit of manifestation, right? Fire to earth, connecting. Sort of instant manifestation. Yeah. The Princess of Pentacles, though, is kind of, it's kind of discovering that gold mine. It's kind of like you're finding the situation you're in has way more potential than you thought. Yeah. It's like you found kind of a secret benefit of this whole thing, and it sort of blows you away because the Princess of Pentacles, to me, represents kind of like the dead of winter. It represents a landscape that is kind of barren. There's no life. Maybe it's cold. It's isolated. It's lonely. It's desolate. It's barren and sterile, right? But under the surface is life, is abundance, is all this verdant energy just getting ready to spring forth, right? Into spring. And so, when we're here, the untrained eye might think there's nothing here. It's empty, it's barren, it's sterile. But no, you're realizing that you take a chance on this. And is it going to reward you, right? So I think this is what the 0303 angel number is referring to. That these chances present themselves. Do something out of the ordinary, right? Welcoming creative impulses and having faith in your own abilities, that's up here. Trust in chance and take risks. You're here prospecting in this Princess of Pentacles landscape, and it's a risk because it doesn't look like much. But it's going to be much. Yeah, it's going to be a lot. Let's select our mystery card, our bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. And we're just going to set it down right over here with our very own Kelly Kapoor, right on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together and give us our confirmation. If you have a prediction for that card, please put it in the comments down below. All right. Let's use our intuition. Let's look around the room. Something very interesting here. Not a single major arcana energy. That's strange when that happens. Yeah. And I think it's one of these situations where spirit is the table, right? Spirit is sort of holding everything up for you. But it doesn't seem that there are any major points of that spiritual work. When we get the major arcana, there'll be a spot here or a spot here, here, maybe here. And it will kind of show you where you need to focus some of your spiritual attention, where some of that karmic work is, where some of your spiritual work needs to be focused. We don't see that now. It's sort of just a blanket spiritual energy that's supporting your efforts right now. I think it has to do with this Four of Wands that we have in the background. I think you're just coming off a very important karmic cycle. I think that you have discharged a lot of negative energy in your life, a lot of stored up energy. And we see that with some of these other fire cards too. And it's really cool that the fire cards are sort of in the background, kind of acting as like a parenthesis, right? They're kind of like just scooching all the other energy over. So this is the momentum that you have coming off of this karmic cycle. I think there's a rush of creative energy. There's a burst of creative energy in here with this Eight of Wands. Sort of goes everywhere, right? It's a discharge of energy that's been locked up for a long time. And that explains why we have a Four of Cups in the position of what you don't want. You don't want to go back to that stagnant, locked up, frozen kind of state of spiritual or emotional energy. So we got our fire. We've got our water cards, which I think are very important here. You are looking toward and driving toward true happiness and abundance. You're following your bliss. You're pursuing your happiness. That's what the Knight of Wands is doing. The Knight of Wands is looking at the future. What is the future? Well, it's the Ten of Pentacles, yeah, in the physical realm. In the material world, it's a Ten of Pentacles, but in the emotional realm, it's really a Nine of Cups, which is you pursuing your happiness. That's what the Knight's doing. It's chasing down that Nine of Cups that's in the future position. So it really is, this really is the perfect set of cards, you know. The only thing missing maybe would be your power card. That would sort of add a little flavor here, but maybe the mystery card, but we don't really need it. I think Spirit is acknowledging that everything you're doing right now is perfect and correct and right. And you're basically being told to remember what you're working toward and keep working toward your true abundance, but look beyond the Ten of Pentacles. Look beyond what the physical representation is and look toward the meaning behind it, right? Look toward the real happiness and bliss, the abundance, physically, financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, creatively, okay? Look beyond the physical realm to what really matters and how it's really going to feel and why you're doing this and how you're going about this, what you're really after. Because, see, these details may change. These details may not look how you've been envisioning them, but this is always going to feel this way. This is going to be that kind of abundance and satisfaction and the depth, the meaning, the purpose behind it. Okay, even though the details may change a little bit. But remember what you're working toward and keep working toward it. This is a Capricorn energy, a Mars in Capricorn. Keep fighting, keep pushing, right? Keep your energy level up. Keep this, stay tapped into this fiery creative energy underneath. Okay, with this Eight of Wands. So we've got our water energy, which is really, really good. We've got a little bit of air, not too much. The little bit of air even is a fixed air energy. Okay, it's a fixed air energy. So it's not changing its mind. It's not changing course. It is fixed. It is certain. It has a belief. It has a goal. It has an objective. And it is doing everything it can, fighting off the doubt, fighting off the naysayers and the critics, and moving straight forward. Okay. Now, straightforward doesn't mean that there's not going to be some twists and turns and some adaptation because you have your Eight of Wands here. Also, the earth energy, of course, is a lot of very good earth energy. This is the biggest win you've ever dreamed of. This is the gold mine that you didn't know was there. but it's going to be a very nice surprise, right? The Eight of Wands, that is underneath everything. This is a burst of energy. This is a release of energy that's been blocked in you. And I think the Four of Wands in the background is sort of, that's what the blockage was. And it shows you're sort of getting through that blockage. The Eight of Wands is a burst of energy, and really in every direction. It's kind of like we finally feel free. We finally feel like released from, what's been sort of freezing your energy, blocking your heart, but blocking your creative will, blocking your ambition and your efforts. This is a lot of ideas all at once. And when this energy, now it's important that we see the Knight of Wands up there too, because when this energy is down beneath the surface, it could, if it's not released, but I think it is, I think it's being very well released with that Knight of Wands, so we're good. But if it's not released, it becomes anxiety. It becomes a almost panic, It becomes a lot of these sort of physical experiences that inhibit us. Okay? The panic attack, the anxiety, the sort of inability to really commit or to make a move, and we start getting that anxious feeling. Because sometimes we might take a step in one direction and step back, another direction and step back, another direction and step back, always coming back to where we began. So we're moving a lot, but we're not really getting anywhere. We're using a lot of this, a lot of energy, a lot of our vital energy, but it's not actually being released. It's like we're pulling it back in. Okay? It's like we're just sitting there with jazz hands. We're tap dancing on the shag carpet. And it may feel like a release of energy, but it's not this free and open, just burst in every direction, like a starburst, which is, I think, what we need. Okay, because that's freedom. That is, I think it's an ease. I think it's going to be relief for you when you experience this. And maybe you already are. Yeah, I feel like you quite possibly could be feeling this impulse in every direction. And the Knight of Wands is, like Spirit said, to remember why you're doing this and what you're doing, and to, keep pushing toward the ultimate goal of this Nine of Cups. So it may feel like when we're in that anxious, sort of frozen or locked up mode, it may feel like that we're discharging a lot of energy. We think of anxiety, and you can burn a lot of calories, tapping your fingers, shaking your foot, and just sort of twiddling your thumbs and doing the jazz hands. Anxiety does burn calories, right? But it's really just a pressure relief valve on that part of our soul, It's not actually a discharge of energy. It's just releasing a little bit so that we don't kind of go supernova, But used in the proper way, and I think when we realize what it is that's been blocking us, and we realize this Four of Wands behind you, I think you've done the work. I think that you've released this this connection, this karmic cycle that you've been on. I don't know if this was a relationship or what this was. I don't think that it was. I think it was some previous cycle from your past that, I don't know, maybe it was some efforts that didn't work out. Maybe it was a particularly problematic experience or situation or relationship that you were in. We don't see a lot of court cards, but we've got the 1, 2, 3. We've got enough to show that there is something interesting about the way you connect with people. Or there's something there about your relationships, okay? And maybe the Four of Wands is saying that you just got out of a relationship, or you just had closure on a relationship or on a situation in your life involving someone else, okay? And I don't know if that means it was a work relationship or a romantic relationship. Maybe it was a stranger. Maybe it was just some event that happened that involved somebody else. Okay. But I feel like it had the potential to really close you off and lock you up. But rather than being frozen by that experience, I feel like you processed it in such a way where you're realizing the benefit of releasing that energy, not keeping it all in, but discharging it. Yeah. It's a karmic cycle. That cycle is completed. There's closure. There's an ending there. And the ending, finishing that cycle, kind of makes us feel as if we've got the whole world in front of us, you know. It makes us feel as if we're sort of free to move, right? I don't know, it brings a surge of energy. And that's the Knight of Wands up here. The Knight of Wands sometimes it's the energy involved in like a fight or flight response, that sort of adrenaline response, you know. And it's really, I think, literally just this surge of energy. We don't know whether to fight or to flee, you know, but that's the energy. And if we don't do either of those, and if we sort of freeze, then we get the anxiety, we get these sort of symptoms that manifest as, like I said, the anxiety and that sort of thing. So this is a release of that energy. This is not just the pressure relief valve of the jazz hands. This is a full-on, we're running forward, you know. This is that energy flowing. And I think you're channeling this into whatever this work is. Now, this doesn't have to be career. It doesn't have to be it doesn't really have to involve money at all. But I do think it involves other people. I think it involves your future. I think it involves your success. Okay, your wealth, whatever wealth means to you. Maybe you're retired. Maybe you're in school. It really does, well, it's going to change your life for the better as far as our angel number is concerned. It does affect your future, because the Knight of Wands, while indicating this just full, wide open release of energy, you know, it's like the pedals all the way to the metal, you know, wide open throttle. The Knights of the Tarot always look at the future. And you are rushing toward this future with all your might. Yeah. Everything you've got, you're saying, I'm doing it. I'm done with that. It's in the rearview mirror. That karmic thing, whatever that is, that Four of Wands, is back there. You're speeding forward, full speed ahead. Okay. And the Knight of Wands is a very intelligent card, because it's looking at the future and it's saying, I have all of this energy, right? That as spiritual beings, human beings, we have, you know, energy to burn, let's say. We have fuel in us. Are we going to waste that fuel staying on this cycle, staying locked up in this, maybe with the anxiety that goes with that? Or can we use that energy and push toward a future? Can we redirect this energy and think, okay, I'm going forward now. I'm not going backwards. I'm not going to be stuck right here where I am. I'm thinking future. Okay. So we're looking at the future, and we're realizing that the more effort we put into our work, whatever our work is, right? Whatever our focus is, whether it's school or you're volunteering, maybe you're retired, maybe it's your business, whatever it might be, your spiritual work. It could be physical health and well-being. That's a great possibility here. Whatever that work is, you're applying all of your energy to it, which means that the past stays in the past. Yeah. We don't have to revisit that. The closure's already there. Let's use this energy, I think, in a very physical way. You know, you are building something here. And of course, with all this earth energy, we do have this suggestion that maybe it does involve your health and well-being a little bit. I'm not a doctor, obviously. This is not a medical reading. But I think there is also that physical component, right? Where you are sort of moving your body. You're not being timid. You're not being shy. You're not being too reserved and too quiet. You're letting yourself go. You're being out there. You're putting yourself in action, you know? And it feels like an absolute blessing. This This Nine of Cups is the best card of the tarot. This is the dream that keeps on dreaming, the happiness that keeps on happening. This is in your future. This is what you are always working toward. How to create more abundance. How to create more joy, more excitement, more meaning and satisfaction on every level of being. Right? From your feet to your forehead. It's all the way up. It's physical, financial, mental, emotional, spiritual, creative. Yeah. You're creating abundance on every plane. And this is what the Knight of Wands is really working toward with everything it's got. You're not holding anything back. And the thing about the Nine of Cups is that it's a 9. It's a verb. It's a function. It's an odd number. It's not a 10. It's not a finite allotment of joy in life. It's not a limited happiness. Well, you're okay. Your ration is this much happiness. It's unlimited. Just as we see in the environmental position with the Nine of Pentacles, the work that you do, the progress that you make is sort of unlimited. There is no maximum. Okay? The Ten of Pentacles, while maybe it suggests a maximum, it really is just your sort of ideal life. The picture that you hold in your mind of what your happy life would look like. What color is the wallpaper and that sort of thing, right? But in practice, it is really a 9. Because 9, of course, is that activity. This is the ideal that we're working toward, perhaps, but the 9 and the 9, this is the activity. And these are such great cards. The more you continue to put your energy and effort into this life, the more this life grows, the bigger it gets, the more successful you get, the happier you get, the more you experience joy and abundance on all these different planes of being. Yeah. So the Nine of Cups in your future position, that's what you're working toward. You're working toward a life that is full and rich and meaningful and successful, and you're going to be very, very happy. Okay? As we talk about the path of the serpent, we first we encounter the fixed air energy of the Prince of Swords. The prince and the princess, they always focus on the present. Okay? When we're over here with the knight, again, like I said, focuses on the future. Okay? So over here, we're kind of cutting ties with the past, and we're realizing what kind of future we're building for ourselves. And this is, I want to curse, it's so good. This is the best, right? That what your energy is applied to is working toward this absolutely glorious future. But in real terms, right? In real, like coming back down to the practical level, we got to focus on today. What are we doing today? Well, you're not losing sight of the task at hand. We're not so enamored with our future that we're forgetting what work we got to do today. Okay? So what are you doing on a day-to-day basis to keep the faith, right? To stick to the will, to stick to the plan, to hold fast to what you believe in. This is a fixed air energy. Spirit saying, don't change your mind. Don't lose focus. Don't start looking at the past. Don't start looking at the future. Just be here now and do what you got to do, knowing that you're moving in the right direction. We don't have to always be looking in the future to make sure we're still going there. When I'm driving from California to New York, I don't have to keep looking out the window to see if New York's still there and if I can still see it in the distance, right? I got to trust that even when I'm feels like I'm going around in circles, that I'm headed in the right direction. I'm headed east, And well, east is, if north is up here, I guess we're going to the Nine of Cups. Now, maybe New York's an important area for you in the world. But we don't have to keep checking in with the future to make sure it's still there. That's why we need a little bit of that faith and that hope and that trust. I kind of hoping for a Wheel of Fortune over here in the mystery card. So keep the faith, right? Don't change the plan. Don't change your mind. Don't start looking in the rearview mirror. Don't start trying to see thousands of miles in front of you to see your destination. Just know that you're building this thing, because the destination really, yeah, you might arrive at certain milestones. You might get to a destination, but it's the joy of the journey that really matters, right? Because we spend a lot more time traveling than we do actually rejoicing in that at that finish line. Because you get to the finish line, you're going to have to just keep traveling. There's still more to do. So let's make sure that we are focused on the journey, the here and now, the ups and downs of it. And there will be ups and downs, especially as we're about to confront this Four of Cups. Yeah. But first, the Nine of Pentacles, because we just keep driving forward. The Nine of Pentacles is in your environment. It's showing the nature of your relationships as well. And I think that you're finding a lot of resources are there when you need them. Yeah, the right people, places, and things are going to appear on your path. They're going to appear in your environment. So be connected to your environment. Be part of your environment. Right? Talk to people. Connect with people. Network. Be there. Right? Don't allow this fiery, creative energy to make you a recluse or a hermit. I'm going to laugh if the mystery card is the Hermit card now. I might have just invoked it into being, right? Let's stay connected with our environment, because the environment is kind of, our environment is kind of the peristalsis that helps us get to where we're going. We need the support of the things, the people, places around us. Yeah. But be sure, especially as we're in touch with the water energy on both sides here, be sure that your relationship with the environment isn't just one of this kind of practical benefit. Okay? It's kind of like someone who, I don't want a lot of friends unless they can do something for me. You know? That if we're gonna hang out, if we're gonna associate with each other, there's got to be some practical benefit to me. I don't think you're like that, but just be careful. You're in touch with both of these water elements, okay, especially the nines, because I think you understand what the joy and the meaning really is. And so, yes, maybe you're making a lot of connections and you're finding a lot of opportunities. You're meeting a lot of people that are going to open a lot of doors for you. But I feel like you really do enjoy the interactions. You enjoy the connections with people, you know? And I think that's very important, especially with that Four of Cups, because this is the obstacle. The Four of Cups is that frozen sort of heart that just says, I'm focused on my will here, and, nothing else sort of matters, right? The Four of Cups could be an energy that's like our heart's kind of frozen to other people. And this can happen with that Four of Wands. We get off that cycle and then we say, never again. I'm keeping my heart closed up. I'm going after what I want and screw everybody else, right? Because I don't want to get hurt again. So with the release of this, the blocked creative or vital energy with the Eight of Wands that we feel, it should end up melting this ice cube a little bit, right? And get the water flowing. Because it is through love and connection and appreciation and gratitude, right? And really, in those one-on-one interactions, and even if it's just like, temporary connections with people, like you're getting a coffee at the convenience store or something, and just like having that moment with the person behind the counter where we just look at each other and we just say, hey, thank you. I appreciate you. It feels good, right? And it doesn't turn into we never see that person again for the rest of our lives, right? But in those moments, we feel that connection, ever so slight, right? But if we do that all the time, and maybe this is just through like random encounters with people, acquaintances, just whatever it is, a bank teller, or just somebody that's passing you on the street to just look and smile or say hi or something. These kinds of connections, I think, help to ground us in the present moment and they help to get this water flowing. Okay, the Four of Cups in the position of what you don't want. Right. I think when we're over here, we don't want the Four of Cups because it is a card called luxury, and we don't want luxury. What you want is fire to earth. What you want is the creation. What you want is to get to work. You don't want to just sit on the couch with your feet up, sipping on a glass of apple cider or something, right? You want to work. You want to get your hands, you want to get physically involved, right? Not just sort of sitting there and not doing anything, right? So when we get to the path of the serpent, we know that we need this card. We need luxury. And even in the context of the whole other part of the reading, you need some moments where you can slow down and rest and just feel and connect and take care of yourself and restore and recharge yourself. Okay? In this relentless pursuit of your happiness, you've got to have time. You've got to make sure that you spend time taking it a little easy. Okay? And so that means not that you have to force yourself to sit down on the couch and watch TV for an hour every day, right? And maybe that is, have a bowl of ice cream or something, right? But I think that this is really about slowing down in your life and being present when you're ordering that cup of coffee. We don't have to be kind of frantic and jazz hands again, right? I got to hurry up and get back to what I was doing. I don't have time for this. Or when you're sitting eating a meal, or when you're sitting there talking to a friend or a family member, or petting your cat, right? Just be there in that moment and enjoy that connection. Allow yourself to slow down and be there. Otherwise, we still have that underlying anxiety that's just like, I got to hurry up and do this because this is a waste of time. This is not productive. Nothing's being accomplished here. You know, we get that frantic feeling that I've got to hurry up and go somewhere. You got to hurry up and get back to work, you know. That's why when you take breaks from work, you really got to walk away from your desk. You know, you've got to get outside or something. Just go sit on the grass and just look at the bugs or something, you know. Appreciate the moment and really extract all of the spiritual benefit that you can from those moments. Okay. Now, finally, the Princess of Pentacles at the end. I think this really is an opportunity in your life where it's going to exceed your expectations. The outcome here, the verdant energy that's going to grow through this effort, unlike anything you've ever seen. Yeah. The biggest win that you've dreamed of. It is, I think it's going to be, it's going to blow you away, right? Because this doesn't look like much. But once you are here and you put in your effort and you, basically it's this, it's fire to earth. Your efforts in this situation, you're going to uncover a diamond in the rough here. This is going to be a literal gold mine that nobody knew was there. You're discovering a treasure that was just covered up by all this, you know, garbage, right? It doesn't look like much, but you are taking this opportunity. You believe in it. You know, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's a diamond in the rough. Yeah. Let's look at the mystery card. Wheel of Fortune or the Hermit, I'd say. We're either expanding things or we're kind of, this is a situation that's going to end up isolating you. Which I doubt it, because this this is joy and abundance on every plane, right? Mentally, emotionally. So, in other words, in terms of your relationship, it's going to feel vibrant and beautiful. It's going to feel radiant. It's worth it, right? It's benefiting you in every way. It's very healthy effort here. So I'm thinking Wheel of Fortune. I'm thinking maybe, I know it's going to be a major arcana. So either Wheel of Fortune, maybe Empress. Yeah, let's see what we have. The wheel. Wheel of Fortune. Expansion, growth. At the beginning I said it requires some faith, some hope, and some trust because you're taking a chance. You're putting your efforts into something that, you know, nobody else thought there was anything real there. But you're doing it. You're putting in your effort, and you're building this thing up into something that is beyond your wildest dreams. Okay? This is a card of expansion. This is a card of growing your life, but in a very wholesome way. Right? We're not just growing this way financially. We're not creating an egg shape, right? We're creating a perfect circle. Perfect circle. Shout out to James, my boy. We're not trying to have this oblong shape. We're trying to grow in every direction. Physically, financially, yes, we want that growth. We want our spiritual and creative growth, right? Expansion. We want our mental, emotional growth. We want to expand our love, right? We want to feel love. We want to experience that even in those little moments throughout our day. Everything is growing. Everything is getting better. And when we're thinking about this card here and the Wheel of Fortune, this Princess of Pentacles, you're discovering your really, truly great, good fortune here. Luck is on your side. Spirit's on your side. It's divine timing. Spirit saying, this is, you keep doing what you're doing, and this is going to be your greatest reward. Okay. Now we're going to do an extended reading if you want to stick around. There's a link up top. There is a link down below. New readings for Sagittarius Wednesday and Sunday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do. It's totally free. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.